Okay, so this is my ICO 635 tube tester and my data sheet. And so we're looking at the 7027As for my Ampeg V4, one of them. And this tells you how to set the 4 switches, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then it shows you in this column here for the second short test on this 7027A, switch 2, we move to position 1. Okay, and that just identifies a short between the grids. So normally switch 2 is on 8, and we're using socket D. Okay, so there's our socket column. So, now I numbered these when I took them out, just because I'm funny like that. So we got this set up, 6, that goes on E, 8, and we're right here in socket H, so we'll push that right in there. Let that warm up. Okay, and what we're looking for is make sure there's no short here. If that glows, that's it. You don't do any further. If you do a quality test when that short light is glowing, you actually do damage to the unit. So I'm going to pull you off of the tripod for a minute so I can show you the base of this filament. And this is what I noticed with this. Let me get this out of here. Okay. On these tubes, when they're in the amp, the number 2 filament was glowing pretty bright red. Okay. So you can see at the top, you just got that nice orange. And then down the bottom here, let me get my hand behind it. You got that nice orange on the base of the filament. Okay, so this is the number 1 tube, and this was working fine. Actually, they're all working fine. But this one wasn't red plating, or hot plating, however you want to refer to it. Let me get you back in the tripod here. We'll test. If I can do this, okay. So, okay, so that's all warmed up. Now we pull on the quality button. That's right up to just about 70 on the scale. And that's well within the good range. Okay. So, and we'll pull that out. Now whenever you move these switches, you take the tube out. We take switch 2, put that down to 1, put it back in. And all we're looking for is to make sure we don't have a glow on our short light right there, because if that's glowing, then that shows a short between the 2 grids. Alright, so this is a-okay. Alright, so now we'll grab the questionable tube. This is tube number 2, and this is the one that was red plating in my amp. Now this one, let me go back to the initial setting, which is 8. Okay, so we have no shorts there. That's good. Now I'm going to pull you out of the stand again here with my shakiness, and look at. Okay, look at how bright that filament is on the bottom. It's almost like a damn light bulb. I mean, it looks good at the top, but down there, that baby's burning bright. So it kind of makes me think maybe the filament got jarred around, shorted itself. I don't know. I'll back up a little so it focuses. So that's way, way hotter heater element than the other 3 tubes. Now, if I run the quality check, he's right up there, 70. Shows better than the other one. That would probably be because I'm getting more emissions off of that filament. Okay, going down to number 1 on the 2 switch. And that's checking for a grid-to-grid short. We have no glow there, so that's good. So the tube tests good, but it's definitely out of whack. I spent all last night looking through schematics for the amp, trying to trace out what I assumed was going to be a bad resistor. The way the Ampegs are wired, if it was a capacitor, it would have been at least 2 of the tubes hot plating, not 1, because of the way they're fed. So, and I can feel the warmth in that compared to the other ones. That's warm. So, I found a set of 6 Sovtechs on eBay for $115 with tax delivered. Less than $20 a tube. 4 of them have the same manufacture date. 2 of them are a different manufacture date. They're all new old stock in boxes. So you can't beat that price for 70/27As. So I ordered those up, and they should be here next week. We'll test all those out. But now that I have those coming, I will reinstall this set of tubes in the amp, and I'll do a quick recording of it red plating so that folks can see what that looks like. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure across the filament pins with my ohm meter and see if that one that's running hot is giving me, a different resistance reading than the other 3. But that's where we're at right now with the second Ampeg. Okay, so our heater filament is connected to pins 2 and 7. Okay. And so when we measure across that, we're getting around 2.1, 2.3, 2.2 ohms, 2.0. Okay, and that's tube number 3. Now, tube number 2 is the issue. And it looks to be about the same, so I'm not really getting what's going on there. But we'll see, because it glows much brighter in my tube tester, I don't believe the issue is with the amp. I believe there's something up with that tube. I'm not measuring it here, it's not showing, but that would be my guess. Okay, so this is a look at the power tubes on the 1970 Ampeg. And you can see the number 2 right away has a hot filament in it. And that's the one that was red plating. I say number 2, I numbered them from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we'll let that warm up. And then I'll flip it off standby. And you can all see what red plating looks like. And I have another set of tubes coming for it because I'm pretty damn sure it's the tube, just looking at it right there at idle with that hot filament. And then we'll swap them around. I'll put that in the number 3 spot. And we'll see if the red plate follows the tube and not the socket, which I believe is going to be the case. But no instrument plugged in or anything like that, but we will flip it on. Okay. And so that gave me a pretty good red plate the other day when I was playing through it. Don't really see it yet, but that filament is definitely way hotter than the other 3. We'll give it a minute or two and see if she gets up there red. If not, I'll go plug a guitar in and we'll put some volume to it and see if that does it. Actually, I see red plating now on number 3, not number 2. So maybe I was incorrect there. Just the slightest, yeah, it's red plating on 3. Interesting. So maybe there is a trouble with the bias circuit on the 1970 V4. I would have sworn that was on number 2, but I guess maybe I was wrong. So, interesting. I wonder, is that showing up on the camera? Not really. We'll pull you out of the tripod, pardon my shakiness. Okay, and so now you can see that red plating right up the middle of the number 3. Okay. So let me power it down and we'll swap things around and see if it follows the tube or if it remains the socket. Okay, so swapped tubes 2 and 3. So now you can see it's the number 3 position with the hot filament. And now we'll see if that one's got a red plate. Pull you right out and get in there for the close up. Oop, just blew up. So, saw that spark in there. So, I would say the number 3 bias is bad, and that tube did not like it. Shit. So, we'll have to get in there and measure all that and check it out. Damn it. Okay, so it looks like I got lucky. This is the tube that was the number 2 tube there that I had moved over to the number 3 position. And saw the arc flash in there. I thought I blew it up, but it must have just been a capacitance jump arc because still tests real good. I don't know if you can see that needle's going right up over 70. No shorts indicated by the light. This tube calls for the number 2 switch to be in the 8 position when you test, which is what we got now. And we're showing about a 72 on my scale. And the number 1 position to check for shorts, and I did that. And that's good. So, got lucky. Now, here's the number 3 tube. This is the one that I swapped out with that. That went into the number 2 position when I was checking. So this is the one that was actually red plating on me. And we'll let that warm up. Again, we got no shorts. So that's good. I checked all 4 of these already. I'm just doing this to show you what I got. And so I did get 6 Sovtechs delivered today, 7027s, but I'll show you what they look like on the scale. And they're all brand new old stock. These things spent 16 winters and summers up the attic of my brother's garage. So, okay, so that one's showing 60 and change right now. As that warms up, that will definitely get closer to 70. So, I'm going to have to pull the amp back out of the case there and check all the bias resistors and see what's cooking there. I imagine one of my big 10 ohm 5 watts is probably a little on the low side. Yeah, so there we are, up over 65 now. I'll give that another couple minutes and I'll climb right up. And so, and this tube tester measures a little bit low, according to the guy I bought it from. He had a calibration tube to check it. So I did buy all plus or minus 1% resistors for this. I'm going to replace all of those at some point, but right now it functions for go, no-go, which is what I need more than anything. So there we are, up around 67 now. And so all 4 of those tubes tested right around 70. You know, a couple of them a little over, a couple a little under, but all damn close, which is fine by me. Now that number 2 still does have a much hotter looking filament than the other 3. I don't know why. They are all the same manufacturer, same tubes. So now we're up around 68, 69, creeping right up on 70. There's 70 right there. So these are all good. And let's grab one of the Sobtechs and throw that in there. And so you can see that baby's brand new. Where's my key? Oops, sorry about the little shoulder bash there. Alright, we got no shorts showing on any of those. I checked those already. But definitely nowhere near as high on the scale as the 4 old ones that were in the amp. So I thought for sure I blew one up when I saw that flash. But they check out okay. Thank you, God. But when I look at the output on these, brand new, compared to my old ones, I understand why the USA made ones cost so much more. 30. So basically that's testing bad right now. And so as these warm up, this will approach 50. A couple of them were right in the question mark range, which is 45 to 50. Oh, yeah, it's right in there. So 46 to 49. But we'll let that. Yeah, that's still pretty cool. Let that warm up for another minute. It's too bad. I wish I hadn't to spend the money. We're up to 35 now. Wish I hadn't to spend the money on these. Could have saved that $100 towards an LPD pedal. Oh well, live and learn, right? Yeah, 36, 37, slowly climbing up. Here's 40. So that'll put a little more heat in there. We'll let that go just for another minute or two and hit the test button again. And no shorts, so that's good. Yeah, 40. It's climbing up. 41. 42. Look at it creeping its way out of the bad range into the questionable range as it gets warmer and warmer. And not that temperature will be an issue. Those things definitely run plenty warm when they're plugged into the Ampeg. You can bet that. I know after a couple of old garage band sessions, you could cook eggs on top of that thing. So we're almost up into the question mark range now. There we go, creeping up, falling back into the top of the bad range. Just hanging in there at 45. So that's pretty sad. I mean, I didn't spend a lot. I spent just over $100 for 6 of those Sovtecs, but again, not a single one of them comes close to the old tube. So yeah, so that's right there on the cusp, sitting at the top of bad. It's too bad. Well, is it just bad enough? Oh well, should have saved my money. Okay, well, that's it for right now. I'm not going to be working on the Ampeg today. I got the volume pot for my Les Paul. That's got to go in, so that's next on the list, and we'll pull the Ampeg apart again. All right. See you in the next installment. Oh, you'll see me. Okay, so we got the 1970 V4 on the table, and I just checked all my resistors. These are the bias resistors here. They're all good. These are supposed to be 10 ohms. They're all actually measuring 6. So that's a little low. And on my other amp, those are cement resistors. But what I did find is that I had a 12 AX7A in the V3 spot. Okay, these are 12, actually these are 12X7As. This is an AU7. This is supposed to be a DW. And so I didn't change any, so all I can assume is this had the wrong tubes in it all along, the wrong tube. So I'm going to look through my stash, and I don't think I have a DW, but we'll go online and order that up. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see that. I might get all 10 ohm wire wound cement resistors for that position there. These are, according to the schematic, these are supposed to be 10 ohm 5 watt resistors. And we're getting 5.9. 6.1, 6.0, and 5.8. So those are my plate resistors. So, yeah, that's odd. I was shocked when I pulled that out and saw that I have 412 XA 7A's in this amp. It's only supposed to be 3. So, well, like I said, I'll look through my stash and see if I got one. I don't believe I do. If not, I'll order another one up from Viva Tubes there if they got it, because they've got me those 12XA7As fast. So, okay, that's where we are with the 1970. The 71's working fine. My younger brother still hasn't brought that other carbon 4x12 cabinet over for me yet, but we'll keep on plugging away.